What's up, you guys? It's Ben here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic that's pretty important to me, something that I think about consistently and that really impacted my life, and it's happiness. And I know you might be thinking, you're going to say, well, happiness, well, what do you mean? Like, the hug, your payday, like everyone wants to be happy, right? And yeah, those, but I want to talk today about the mindset, the mentality that is happiness and what it means to be happy. But before we get into the video, two things you got to do first. First, you got to make somebody smile today, and second, you need to smile today because life's too short not to be happy. For those who don't know me, my name's Ben. Just an average dude trying to make the world a better place. I have a passion to help others and learn everything I can. On this channel, we talk about everything from personal growth and development to finance and business. So without further ado, guys, let's get into today's video. So first, we're going to talk about what it means to be happy. And there's two ways, in my opinion, what it means to be happy. First being the immediate happiness or sense of enjoyment and joy that we get. And that's things from, payday and your show coming on, eating your favorite food or hanging out with your friends. Those are all things that I love and I cherish and I really do appreciate and love. And I'm sure you guys know what I mean when I say this, but they plateau. It's good and then you're happy, and then it's not that it goes bad necessarily, but it goes back to being stagnant, back to being okay, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just how it goes. Those are more of an up and down kind of happiness. What I want to talk today about is the second form of what I consider to be happiness, and that is the mindset and mentality to be happy and to live a happy life. Now, the first thing we're going to do actually is read the Dutch Creed. It's from the place that I work, Dutch Bros, and it's a really cool mission statement, pretty much. And it's something that I really admire and look up to, and I look from time to time when I just because it has a lot of really good inspirational things. And I'm going to put it up here on the screen right now. I'm going to read it. The creed goes, to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel there's something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only the best, work only for the best, and expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about yourself, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, to be too large for anger, to be too strong for fear, to be too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Now, what I like to do, I try to take one of these lines, there's so many good ones, and just kind of really, really focus on that. Really just be about it. Focus on that for a bit. And they're all really good aspects to live a good life and have a really good mindset about everything. And I think that choosing one of these a week and focusing on it would really help you. But that's just part of this. So this is just something that really resonates with me, and it kind of ties into the happiness. So we're going to talk about what does it mean to be happy. So the mindset of happiness, I believe, in my opinion, to have a positive and optimistic outlook on life and issues. Instead of complaining about a problem, instead we focus on a solution and work towards a resolution. Happiness is encouraging others and really smiling at other people's success, even if you don't succeed yourself. And I think that's hard to do. I think as humans, we tend to be envious or jealous people. And I think it's a problem because it starts creating resentment and animosity or hate towards other people. And I think that's where a lot of issues lie with not having self-confidence and not having self-esteem. And I think that in order to alleviate that kind of stuff, you have to be understanding that no one's perfect. No one's ever going to be perfect. Even your greatest celebrity crush has problems and isn't the best at everything. So it's kind of unrealistic to expect perfection out of anyone, including yourself. And it's too hard on yourself. Be okay with who you are and know that you're worth something and that you're valuable. And when you have to have this battle, this inner battle with yourself before you can really tackle on being happy. Otherwise, you're always going to have this little voice in the back of your mind telling you that you're not doing something right. And another thing I think being happy means is finding passion and meaning in life. And that's not just a career. That can be your family. It can be your friends, hobbies, anything. It's finding a purpose and really being about it and understanding that that brings you joy and not just something that you're doing because you're trying to fill time or pass the time or because everyone else is doing it, something that you genuinely love and something that makes you feel something that nothing else really does. And let me tell you, for me, it's cooking. I love to cook. Cooking, when I was younger, I used to talk out loud like I was on a Food Network and tossing it up with Bobby Flay or something. And I love to cook. And it's till this day, it's still something that brings me a lot of passion and joy. And it's something I try to do more because of how it makes me feel. Now, all these things that I'm talking about come from living a happy life and having a positive mindset and outlook on life. And how I found my happiness was, I wouldn't say anything super special. I was always kind of a positive person and tried my best to smile and make other people feel good and not really show my emotions, not have anyone worry about me. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have my bad days, my sad times, days where it felt like it was too much and maybe it'd be better just to throw it all away, and that is hard. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Depression is a real thing. And I think a lot of it comes from self-doubt and worrying that you have some expectation to uphold and that if you're not good enough or your thoughts aren't the smart one or the right choice. And I'm just here to tell you that that's just not true. Everyone has value. Everyone brings something to this world. Everyone. And it's not easy to kind of figure that out, but it's worth it. If you just take some time alone and really think about what you bring and being okay with that. And for me, this didn't really just come overnight. I just kind of had a breakthrough moment where it all kind of clicked and this happiness thing really took over. And mine was something pretty personal to me, and it was my grandpa. He was my hero. I'm sure we all have one of those, and he was mine. He always had a smile on his face. He always cared about his family. He'd stay up late, and I remember waking up and he's holding a gallon of milk, drinking, watching, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. So, I just loved it. He embodied what I saw as a person. And he got sick, and it was hard. And at first, I didn't know really what to expect. I thought it was going to be fine, but you never knew. But things started looking up, and he was getting better. He was going through rehab. I was getting updates from my mama, and things, and then things kind of went downhill. We got worried again, but then things got back up, and we just kept talking about how he's such a fighter, and it was going to be all right. And just when things were actually starting to look better, things took a turn, and they started to go bad. And then they took him off his machine and sent him home to live out his last few days. And I was there for it. And he passed. He succumbed to his illness. And it was, to this day, probably the hardest thing I ever dealt with emotionally. Still hard for me to deal with to this day. So it's not something I try to repress. It's, I love my grandpa, and I know that it's still hurting today just means that I cared a lot about him. But what happened was I realized I was in a really dark spot, and that if I didn't get out of it, things were going to start going bad. And I just kind of thought about my grandpa a lot, and I thought about what he would do, what he would tell me to do. And it just kind of clicked with me. It was a breakthrough moment. I can't really explain it other than I just realized I needed to be happy and live every day the best of my ability and wake up and feel blessed and thankful that I have another day here. And it wasn't something I had an internal struggle with. It wasn't something that I had to really learn. It just clicked because I realized how precious life was. And it was a pretty monumental shift in my life. And to this day, I can just say that nothing, not one thing has impacted me greater than that. Deciding to be happy and living a better life. And that kind of ties into why it's so important. Why is being happy not talked about? Why is happiness not talked about? And we hear a lot of negativity nowadays. And that's where I see a problem lies. Because when you're negative and when you have hate, that's kind of all you spread, and your life doesn't really go super well. You run into ruts, you run into personal problems, and things tend to be harder for you to overcome and do. But when you are happy, it just changes you as a person. It's so great. I can't even explain it to you. It's addicting. It just gives you energy and life and passion to live every day and better yourself and to be the best version of yourself every single day. It gives you mental clarity on what really is important in life, what matters. And it's night and day. It really is. And you get to be better with terms of yourself. You come to terms with yourself and understand that you are worth something, you're worth value. You bring something to this world. And it helps you accept failure. It makes you not be so hard on yourself when you fail or something doesn't go your way. And instead it makes you realize it's a time to learn and be optimistic and realize what went wrong and how to make it better. It seriously is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Life just becomes easier, and it's not to say that I don't have my days. It's not to say that I don't struggle with things or have obstacles I have to overcome. I do. I have those daily that I have to do, but they become less of a bogged down that really get to me to more of a challenge. It's just more of my mindset changed from this sucks to how can I make this better? And that's really it. It's a shift of mindset from being negative to being positive. And that's how you change it. You know, that is really how it all works together. It's the hardest, easiest thing you'll ever do. Honestly. All it takes is for you to say enough is enough. To say you want to be happy, to live a happy life. And I know you're going to say, well, that's not very helpful. Of course, everyone wants to be happy. Yeah, they do, but how many people really focus on it? How many people really work at being happy every day? And how many people can you say, you know, that are happy? How can you be honest with yourself? Be honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you happy? Do you love life? Do you have resentments? I don't have regrets in my life. I have experiences that I've learned from that I'm thankful for because I am who I am today because of them. It's a shift. It's from being a pessimistic person to being optimistic. It's changing your mentality to, I don't like this person, I'm envious of this person, I'm jealous, and these negative thoughts to being happy for other people. I'm not going to say that I don't have people that I don't agree with, but I respect them. I treat them with kindness, and I don't degrade them. I don't want to make them feel lesser of me or that I'm better than them, because that's just not it. That's not how, I just don't feel that anymore. I genuinely don't feel hate towards people. I might dislike people, I might have people I disagree with, but none of them I really wish ill upon. And I don't know how to describe it other than I don't have time for it. My life doesn't have negativity anymore. It doesn't let it resonate with me. It doesn't let it sit and fester. If I have a problem, which I have, I'm not saying I don't, but if I have one, I attack it head on. And I want to, because I want to go back to being happy. That's that. I don't let things get me tied down. I don't have things that weigh me down anymore, or that I grudges or animosity towards people. I don't let myself deal with that. And that's easier said than done, and it's not. I wish there was more to say, but it's really as simple as saying you want to be happy. And like I said, it's the hardest, easiest thing you'll do. Here's a better way to look at it. Instead of saying I need to be happy or I need to find what's happy, I need to cut off negativity and not let hate be in my life. And if you can do that, if you can start cutting stuff off, the happiness comes with it, because you get to focus on things that you love. And cutting stuff off is not easy, and I'm not going to ever say it will, because it's not. There are some things that are so embedded in you, that have been with you for so long, or so emotionally connected to you, or so hard to deal with, that you might think it's impossible, but I promise you it's not. There's always a way out. There's always another way. There's always a better option. There's always a way to better your life. Always. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be overnight. It's gonna be hard. And my best advice is to cut stuff off slowly, one at a time. And you'll realize that once you start doing it, happiness starts coming in. And before you know it, your life's gonna be better. And you're gonna be able to focus on things that just matter to you. And you are gonna thrive, you're gonna blossom in all of it. When you don't have negativity and you only have the good, the things that bring you joy and value in life, you go so hard to it. You just full throttle to it, and you excel in it. And it's honestly an addicting feeling. It's a high that you can't get from anything else. I can't tell you the ride that I'm on, and I don't plan on getting off anytime. But the hardest thing to do is cutting the first thing off. It's always the first step that's the hardest. But once you start, I promise you, it starts getting easier. And once you cut all the negativity out of your life, it's really hard for it to get back in. And even if it does, it doesn't stay long. It's the most wonderful thing that's ever happened in my life, and I only hope that this video can bring value to you and hopefully help you find your happiness. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I know it's kind of dark, it's kind of a serious one, and hopefully it didn't bring no clouded thoughts. Hopefully, if you could take one thing out of this, it's that I want you to just be honest with yourself and start really thinking about the negative things in your life and cutting them out. Start with that. All right. So with that all said, guys, if you really did enjoy this video, I'd love it if you could go ahead and smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I post every Friday. I'd love to see you again. And go ahead and follow me on the socials. Links are down in the description below. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I actually am going to get into streaming more. And join the Discord if you'd like. There's going to be a lot of like-minded individuals and spark some really great conversations. And as always, think the unthinkable, do the impossible, and live like there's no tomorrow. Until next time, take it easy.